Hey, what's up? I don't know if you've noticed, but Elden Rings Multiplayer is kinda bad. Let's talk about why, shall we? Let's start with some general stuff that I would like to address. First thing, Elden Ring is an open world game, and for some reason we can't summon Torrent during multiplayer sessions. In some areas it makes sense, but in the open world parts, for example in Leonia, it doesn't really make sense. Do they expect us to walk everywhere once we summon someone? I think that's a terrible idea. I think everyone should be able to ride on Torrent, the host, the phantoms, and the invader. Easy change. Second thing is the fall calling finger remedy, which is a terrible idea in my opinion. What does it actually do? It lets you see summon signs, and it inhibits you to summon spirits. This combination is terrible because no one is going to think, oh, let me use this item so that I can maybe find someone to co-op with. So it's basically only viable to put down your summon signs at locations where you know that the person is seeking help, basically just in front of bosses or in front of difficult encounters. Which is terrible because you want to sometimes co-op in random areas, right? And no one is going to see you because you're not using this item. And the last point for the general stuff is fog walls in front of dungeons, caves, something like this. Just imagine you're going through an area and you find a dungeon with your buddy together, right? And then you want to explore that dungeon, but you can't. You need to send your buddy home and then resummon them inside the dungeon. It's just unnecessary and I don't see the point in that. Let's talk a bit about the matchmaking system. How it currently works is that we have level matchmaking, where you can only connect to people that are around your level, and there is a weapon upgrade matchmaking system, where you can only connect to people that have a similar upgraded weapon to yours. And this is the one that I would like to see changed, because it limits too much in my opinion. How it currently works, and these aren't the exact numbers, is that when I have a plus 15 weapon, the phantom that I'm going to summon can have a plus 12 weapon to a plus 18 weapon. And I want to change the upper range, so that they can have a plus 12 weapon to plus 25 weapon. And by that I mean the upper range is always 25, even if the host has a plus 5 weapon or a plus 0 weapon. This is because the range of people that you can connect to be increased, but that's not all. I know this would be majorly unbalanced, so everything that is above the host's weapon upgrade level is being scaled down to the host's weapon upgrade level. For example, the host has a plus 5 weapon and the phantom a plus 25 weapon. The phantom's plus 25 weapon is being scaled down to plus 5. Same with invasions, same with duels, same with everything basically. In my opinion, this change would be good so that you can actually connect to much more people. It's easier to find someone to co-op with, it's easier to find someone to duel, to invade, whatever. It just makes things easier while still being balanced. Now let's go over to some co-op changes. First thing, I think the host should be able to rest at a site of grace when there is a phantom active. How often did this happen to you? You played with your friend and one of you two ran out of resources. Then you had to send them back home so they can replenish the resources and you had to resummon them again. With this change you would skip this part and make it much more pleasant for you both. Of course, when there is an invader present in the world, then this shouldn't be possible, otherwise you could cheese the invasion. And now let's go over to the second co-op change, and this might need a trigger warning, because I want the host to be able to summon spirits during co-op. The spirit should count as a phantom, so that you can only have one real phantom active and one spirit, and of course the spirit can only be summoned in a spirit summoning zone. Why I want this change will be much more clearer in the next point in the PvP section, so let's go over to the PvP section. I want solo host invasions to be a thing in Elden Ring, because currently you can only invade groups of people, like 2 people or even 3 people, or very rarely just the host when they use the Taunter's Tongue. This is not very fun currently, so I want to see that changed. Like in Dark Souls 3, I want to be able to invade hosts that are alone in the world, and so that they're not suffering any disadvantages, they still should be able to summon spirits when they're in a spirit summoning zone, and they should be able to get help from blue phantoms when this item is active, and they should still be able to summon phantoms if they find a summon sign. Then the second change that I would like to see in the PvP section is that overleveled phantoms are getting nerfed, at least for PvP, because currently they deal way too much damage to the invader and they take way too less damage from the invader. And now to the password only changes. I think the Seamless Co-op mod had some great ideas. I think teleportation during co-op with password partners should be allowed, and I think the phantoms should be able to stay in the world of the host after killing a boss. So these were the changes that I would like to make to the current state of the game to make it better for me at least. If you have similar ideas, or maybe you agree or disagree with some of my points, write it down into the comments, and that's it.